Hey everybody, it's Copywriter again, and we finally get into the creative stuff with the 4 C's of great copy. Now, I want to point out that this is an opinion, okay? This is what I have observed over the years, in my many years of writing copy, that all great copy have in common. They are all things that start with the letter C or can be contrived to do so, which is what I did for this, okay? So forgive the AI slop. You're going to see that throughout. It is what it is. I'm not a designer. I'm a copywriter. So what I'm talking about is great copy. You can have good copy, right? But great copy generally has all of these things or selectively breaks these quote unquote rules. There aren't any real rules. This is my opinion. This is just an observation from your rat. If I struggle to speak, it's because I don't generally talk a lot and it's hot here, okay? So just give a rat a break, if you would. All right, let's get into it. Number one, of course, is correctness. Your copy's got to be right, it's got to be correct. It starts with spelling, and yes, this is still a problem. Okay, I walked by something in a convenience store, bottom shelf, product with a typo on the label. And no, it wasn't one of those stupid products that purposely misspells a word or whatever. This was just a flat out mistake. It's not good. Don't do that. There's so many things that can help you with spelling and grammar and punctuation. You know, you got your AIs, you got your Grammarly, you got your autocorrect features in your word processors. There's no excuse for this. Okay, there's just no excuse. Don't let this happen to you. And I'll tell you why. Real quick, if you produce 1,000 ads a year, okay, 1,000 ads a year, and there's one that's got a mistake in it, you're gonna remember that one, and you'll be remembered for that one because your mistakes are way stickier than your successes. Okay, this is a "what have you done for me lately?" except when you've screwed me over, in which case I'm gonna remember that forever business. All right, you'll end up on an agency blooper reel. When it comes time for a promotion, if you're competing with someone else, they're going to go, oh, it's this person or the guy who screwed that headline up or the gal who screwed that body copy up. Don't do that to yourself, okay? This is easy to fix, easy to prevent, right? Disclaimers are another thing that have to be correct. I've kind of covered disclaimers and how I've dealt with them in the past, but this is not something that you can screw up. Your lawyers are going to get very angry with you if you do. The client can be fined or worse, and guess what? They're not paying that fine. The agency is, and guess who they're going to blame for it? Don't do this to yourself. Guides and styles are another thing that's got to be correct. If you use an AP style, it's got to be an AP style, man. You know, put your commas in the right place. Use the right capitalization structures and all that stuff. You got to do those things. Table stakes, man. This is all table stakes. And you have the tools you need to do it right every time. I cannot talk today. I'm sorry. It's very hot, okay? I'm wearing a fur coat year round. I am sweltering in here, and it's air conditioned. AI can help you here. This is one of the great things about AI. It can really, really save you nuts here. The Grammarly is AI powered now, but it wasn't before. You have all the tools. Plus, some agencies have a copy edit department or a proofreading department that are going to help you. Don't lean on them too much. That's a crutch. You should be able to do this yourself. But if you got them, you got them. So use them, right? Don't fall into this trap of being lazy and making a mistake. It will follow you, and you will hate it. Okay. The second thing is clarity. Clarity's a little weird. What was that? Okay, whatever. I got a creaky chair here. There's nobody sitting in it, but it's creaking nonetheless. Word choice and dialect choice are important when you're writing copy because they aid in clarity. They're part of context in their own way, and you'll see how that works in a minute. But what I mean by dialect is this: you wouldn't use "bless your heart" in the Pacific Northwest or in New England. Okay, that's just not how people talk. That's a Southernism. That's part of the Southern dialect. People have different words and phrases that they use commonly based on their region, their clubs, their interests. Think about it this way: the military, gamers, car guys, they all have their own selection of words and euphemisms and memes that mean something to them. And you can use that to your advantage as long as you're authentic with it, okay? You don't want to be that guy who's, hello, fellow kids with the 2 skateboards. You don't want to be that meme guy, okay? You want to be someone who's genuine and is actually in the right lane. You stay in your lane, okay? Remember, you're in marketing. You already have demerits against you. So you got to use those things creatively, and you got to use them respectfully. But you can use them. Just be careful, all right? Also, order of information. This is about storytelling, beginning, middle, end. I'm going to touch on this in a later video or something. I'm not going to go deep into it right now, but you get the idea. The brain likes that familiar structure because it is logical. Sometimes you can benefit from interrupting that structure, but let's just talk about that later. I'll go over it in a different time. Clarity also depends on your awareness of the medium. Okay, things that are clear in a TV ad because you have multiple senses to deal with are probably not going to be clear in a radio ad. You see what I'm saying? Okay, I'm not gonna dwell on that too much. Understanding your target, and I say target, not target audience, because again, write to one person. Okay, pick a person in your head. Imagine that person. Make them as real as you can if they're not already real, and write to that person. If you understand that person, you understand what it takes to be clear to that person. Okay, just think about that. Remember, that's kind of a truism. All right. Economy of language is important for clarity because, well, if you use 5,000 words to say 500 words worth of stuff, you have wasted a lot of time and people are not going to stick around to get the point, okay? You're going to lose out on a lot of stuff if you just vomit words onto a page and hope, okay? A good challenge for copywriters is when you write your draft, when you're editing, cut it by at least 20%, 50% if you can, okay? Get more economical in how you say things to be clear. Don't leave stuff out. You can be too economical, okay? Don't leave stuff out. But yeah, there you go. Remember, the clarity is about how you choose to express things, what words you choose, your language, but it's also about the perspective of the audience. So always approach it from their perspective. That one person, what do they see when they see your ad? What do they think? What's their reaction? Not what do you want it to be, genuinely what do you think it would be? Keep that in mind. Number 3 is context, okay? This is a little more like your journalism stuff. I'll kind of treat it that way, but this is who you're talking to, all right? Personal context. This relates directly to clarity. It's actually almost the same thing, but it counts for both, okay? What are you competing with out there? Remember that person's context. If you are a poster, what are the posters are they seeing? What are the products are being promoted with that poster? What are you competing with? What's the noise that you're trying to stand out from? When are they seeing it? And this is what time, okay? Is it the commute time? Are they in don't talk to me, I need coffee mode? Is this doom scrolling time at 1 a.m. in the bed, when they're just flipping? These things matter, so just think of your mind. Are they hungry? You see what I'm saying? When makes a difference. That's important context. Where are they seeing this? Are they in a cab? Are they on the bus? Are they in the subway? Are they watching TV? Are they listening to the radio? When is this message hitting them? Well, where are they? Sorry, misspoke there. Again, it's very hot here, and this is all one take. Where they are matters because that is literal, locative, physical context, okay? And the context of how your message stands out is what are you doing to combat the noise? Because every context is going to be noisy in its own way. Even doom scrolling. I mean, if you've got a social post and you want them to stop scrolling, the thumb is pretty fast, man. You humans can really chew through some content. It's very fast. So what are you going to do to stop them? Okay. A lot of the context is going to come from your brief. They're going to give it to you. If they don't give you enough, just ask them, okay? Your account people should be ready to provide you with that, or they'll tell you we don't know. And if they don't know, you do what you can. It is what it is. But think about the person that you're writing to. Is they part of a group? Are they part of a subculture that has its own dialect or contexts or contextual cues? Are you stopping a scroll, or are you getting them to read something when they're a captive audience, like on a bus? Are they looking at a billboard in traffic? Like TV ads. I'll give you an example. A TV ad's a TV ad, right? Well, what if it's the season finale of the most popular show on television? Well, you got a lot to compete with there because there's going to be people who are really trying hard to get people's attention there. Plus, they don't want to see. This is when people resent ads the most, is when they have something they're super excited to do, and then you step in and go, before you do that, I need you to look at the ad for this product, okay? Super Bowl. People forget about the Super Bowl ads. For a long time, they were just ads, right? But advertisers were paying this premium because it's got so many viewers. I mean, just millions and millions and millions of people viewing this. And they thought, well, what do people do in the Super Bowl when the ad comes on? They go get a snack. They talk about the last play. They go to the bathroom to have a piss, whatever. They're not watching your ads. So that's when advertisers were like, well, that's the context. Let's crank it up. Let's make the ads themselves worth watching. They became a spectacle all their own. That's an example of how context drove creative. Okay? So think about that a little bit as you go. Number 4, and maybe the point of all of it, is convincing. If you got the other 3 and not this, you obviously, that's not going to work because you haven't changed any behaviors. All right? And I'm going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here and tell you that there is a difference between what is true and what is fact. Advertisers love to play hooky on this a little bit. A fact is just a provable thing. It's a fact. A fact is a fact, right? But truth is a little more nuanced. I'll give you an example. Right now, I am the most interesting rat in this room. That is a fact. But it's only true because I'm the only rat in this room. Okay? From a product perspective, let's imagine that you are you're advertising for a disinfectant, okay? And they only kill like 2% of germs versus their competitors who are killing 99%. So they don't generally compete on that fact of 2% of germs because they're going to get absolutely mosh pitted by their competitors. But they come up with a new formula that kills 3% of germs. Well, that's 50% better. So they want to put that on the label. Hey, we kill 50% more germs now than 2%. It's still a terrible product. But what they're doing is they're saying something that's factual, but it's not really true, right? In the context, people are going to think, oh, 50% more than what? They're not going to ask that. They're not going to ask than what. They're just saying 50% more is better. Even if you say 50% more than our previous formulation, unless you say it's going to kill 3% of germs, you're not being honest. So it's not true. Think about these things, okay? Because consumers, when they find out, and they will, okay, they eventually will, the truth always comes out, they're going to resent you for it. Volkswagen Dieselgate, shout out to you idiots, whatever you're doing, why, don't understand. Hope people don't forgive you, because that was some grade A trolling. Don't do that. Being convincing and truthful, it gets attention, right? It changes behavior, and it sticks in people's memory. Sometimes you're not going to get an immediate action. Sometimes that's not the goal. But if you want an immediate action example, stopping someone from doom scrolling is an immediate response, and it is a change in behavior. Stop them from scrolling. Let them take the message in. If you want them to click something, okay, cool, that's good, but you got to stop the scroll first. If you don't stop them scrolling, they can't possibly click on something unless you do that crazy, hide the ad button or make it move or whatever. That's some conniving crap that I hate too, and that's why people hate us. But again, that's a behavior. If it's skippable, then you're not changing the behavior. You've got to stop them, okay? Get attention, be convincing. Convince someone to stop scrolling. That's important for you social people, okay? And you content people. Remember that. Okay, it's hot in here. I'm still hot. My feet are on fire. My Lamborghinis are really exhausted from all this pavement. It's hotter than Satan's perineum out here. It's bad in the city, okay? It's really bad. Channel update. Let's just get out of here. I'm glad to finally start talking about the creative, and I appreciate you watching. I got a subscriber as of the time of this recording. A couple of watches. Thank you, guys. If you have any questions and want to interact, put them in the comments. I'll try to answer them if I can. Like I said, it's hot outside. I might be a little bit slower than usual because the city is difficult right now. The pavement is hot, and yes, it smells bad. The city smells bad when it gets hot, like really bad. Like I have a very sensitive nose, as you might imagine, and it's terrible. This is not good. I don't like it at all. So I may be a little bit slower, but I'm going to try to publish every Tuesday morning. I want to do this weekly and create myself a habit and give you guys something to watch. Maybe you tell your friends to watch, but that's up to you. For now, me and the editors are out of here, so Copywriter, out. Oh yeah, here we go. Nobody doesn't like... Okay, so shout out to Sarah Lee for having the most confusing jingle / slogan ever, but that's a nice pickup, guys. That's impressive.